Have you ever felt betrayed by someone you trusted? Maybe a friend, a family member, or a colleague. The sting of betrayal is one of the deepest pains we can experience. It leaves us feeling isolated, hurt, and questioning everything. It can feel like our world is crumbling and our future is suddenly shrouded in darkness. If you've ever been there, or if you're there right now, I want to share a story with you. It's a powerful story of betrayal, but more importantly, it's a story of incredible redemption and hope. It's the story of a young man named Joseph. Joseph was his father's favorite son, and he had these incredible dreams that pointed to a great future. But his own brothers, consumed by jealousy, couldn't stand it. They hated him for his dreams and for the special favor their father showed him. One day, their jealousy boiled over. They seized him, threw him into a pit, and then sold him to a group of traders heading to Egypt. Just like that, Joseph was stripped of everything: his family, his home, his freedom. He became a slave in a foreign land. His brothers thought they had silenced him and his dreams forever. They went back to their father with a torn, blood-stained coat and a lie, leaving him to believe his beloved son was dead. Imagine being in Joseph's shoes, sold by your own flesh and blood, alone in a country where you don't know the language or the culture. It would be so easy to give in to despair, to become bitter and angry at God and the world. But Joseph didn't. Even in the darkest of circumstances, he held on to his faith. He chose to serve with integrity. He landed in the house of a high-ranking Egyptian official named Potiphar. And because of his diligence and God's favor, he quickly rose to a position of trust, managing Potiphar's entire household. Things were finally looking up, but his trial wasn't over. Potiphar's wife made advances toward him, and when he refused, she falsely accused him. Once again, through no fault of his own, Joseph's world came crashing down. He was thrown into prison, from favored son to slave, and now from trusted manager to prisoner. It seemed like every time Joseph did the right thing, things only got worse. He was forgotten in a dark, cold dungeon. How many of us would have given up at this point? How many of us would have concluded that God had abandoned us? But even in prison, Joseph's character shone. He didn't complain or become resentful. He continued to serve faithfully, and soon the prison warden put him in charge of all the other prisoners. God was still with him, even in the dungeon. While there, he interpreted the dreams of two of Pharaoh's officials, a baker and a cupbearer. His interpretations came true, but the cupbearer, who promised to remember Joseph, forgot him. 2 more years passed, 2 more years of waiting in that prison, forgotten by the world. But God never forgets. God's timing is perfect. One night Pharaoh, the most powerful man in the world, had 2 disturbing dreams that no one in his kingdom could interpret. That's when the cupbearer finally remembered the young Hebrew man in prison. Joseph was summoned from the dungeon, brought before Pharaoh, and with wisdom given by God, he interpreted the dreams. They foretold 7 years of abundant harvest followed by 7 years of devastating famine. But Joseph didn't stop there. He laid out a brilliant plan to save Egypt. Pharaoh was so impressed by his wisdom that he did something unimaginable. In a single day, Joseph went from a prisoner to the second most powerful man in Egypt, in charge of preparing the entire nation for the coming crisis. The famine came, just as Joseph had foretold. It was severe, not just in Egypt, but in all the surrounding lands. People from all over came to Egypt to buy grain, because under Joseph's leadership they had stored up a massive surplus. And one day, a group of men from Canaan came to buy food. Joseph looked at them, and his heart must have skipped a beat. It was them, his brothers, the very men who had sold him into slavery all those years ago. They didn't recognize him, bowing down before this powerful Egyptian ruler, just as his dreams had predicted so long ago. Here was his chance for revenge. He had the power to destroy them, to make them pay for all the years of pain they had caused him. But what did Joseph do? After testing them to see if their hearts had changed, he revealed himself, and in one of the most powerful moments in all of history, with his brothers terrified before him, Joseph offered not revenge, but grace. He wept and said, "Do not be distressed and do not be angry with yourselves for selling me here, because it was to save lives that God sent me ahead of you." And later he said these incredible words, "You intended to harm me, but God intended it for good to accomplish what is now being done, the saving of many lives." Joseph's story shows us a profound truth. God can take the worst things that happen to us, the betrayals, the injustices, the pain, and weave them into a beautiful tapestry of redemption and purpose. Joseph's brothers meant it for evil, but God meant it for good. The pit, the slavery, the prison, they were all part of the journey God used to position Joseph to save his family and an entire nation. Your story isn't over. The pain you're feeling right now is not the final chapter. God is still writing your story, and He is a master at turning our deepest wounds into our greatest strengths, and our biggest messes into His most powerful messages. Trust that He can take what was meant for evil in your life and turn it into something for your good and for His glory. Thanks for watching. If this story encouraged you, please like, share, and subscribe for more content that inspires hope. See you next time.